Hi everyone, so this is the fourth and final instalment of my recounting of the fabulous Atheist convention, which was nearly a month ago now. I can't believe it's gone so quickly. I'm still reliving it in my head a lot and vicariously living through all my photos and videos in a magical atheist kind of way. So anyway, we are up to Sunday, which is the last day of the convention. As I had been up till 2:30 in the morning the night before, I was feeling a little bit worse for wear. Totally worth it though. Met brilliant people on the Saturday night, as I said before. Made some cool new friends, some new Twitter friends, YouTube, all that jazz. But yeah, the next speech was at 8:30 in the morning, so I was not feeling very sprightly. However, I did manage to get to it. The first speaker was Eugenie Scott, who I had walked past in my hotel and gone like that when she was out of sight, so I didn't look like a freak. I'm a big fan of hers. I follow a lot of her work, so it was great to see her in person up on the stage, talking about just the blatant facts of the different sedimentary levels in rocks, displaying that the world is more than 6,000 years old, for all those young Earth creationists out there and proponents of intelligent design. So she was brilliant, but I was so tired afterwards. I went back to my hotel and had a snooze, so unfortunately I missed out on Tanya Smith and Anne-Laurie Gaylor, but I did hear that they were very, very good. But yeah, I figured if I wanted to be alive for the next speakers, I needed to catch up on some sleep. So after I'd had my little morning snooze, it was Sam Harris. Now I was so excited to see him because he is one of my favourite people in the world. He's kind of one of my idols, being a neuroscientist, which is what I eventually want to be. And his books are awesome. The way he speaks is magnificent, and he's just plain handsome, just kind of breathtakingly handsome. So that does help. So he talked about the concept of dying and living in the moment, which is kind of a nice change from a lot of the academic stuff that previous speakers had been talking about. Not that that was bad, but his was more of a, I hate to use the word spiritual, but more of a spiritual and feeling talk, which was good. And then he proceeded to hypnotize 4,000 atheists Jedi style. He got us to sit there, close our eyes, breathe, and just imagine and notice every going on in our body, every occurrence, every movement, every breath. Feel your lungs filling up with air, feel the way your legs feel when you're sitting there, the way your arms are hanging by the shoulders. And he had us sit there for about, I lost track of time, it must have been about 15 minutes. I tried not to fall asleep. I mean, it wasn't boring, it was fantastic. I was completely engaged and interested in what he wanted us to do. But I think I can speak for a lot of fellow attendees when I say that it was very tempting to just have a little snooze due to our late night prior. But no, that was amazing. I've always tried meditation. I've tried meditation before, but I found that my mind is really too busy. But he did it excellently. So if I could just grab that little snippet of him talking us through it and play it every night before I go to sleep, that would be lovely. So after a quick break and a stretch, it was the premiere of an atheist film called Parrot, which went for about 25-30 minutes. It was quite good. I enjoyed it. I couldn't really connect with the main story or the character because it was very much a coming out of the atheist closet story, and I've never really had to do that because I've never lived in a very religious family or community. But it was great to see what some people go through. After that was the brilliant Jason Ball, who I love and who I follow on Twitter and occasionally talk to on there. It was great to see someone my age up on there talking about what he's been up to, all his work in various universities, and just getting young people together, which I think is very hard, as the term was thrown around a lot on that weekend. It's like herding cats. So that was brilliant. Next up was another one of my favourites, the wonderful PZ Myers, blogger extraordinaire. Um, he talked about the fact that atheists should be hunters, um, not in a violent way, but just in a kind of aggressive and not taking shit from anyone way. And then he made a awesome point about the fact that we need to include more women in this cause, which of course all the ladies in the room, including myself, roared loudly, or squealed, whatever ladies do. Um, but yeah, he was the first to really bring up the point that some women do feel uncomfortable in the kind of sausage fest that is atheism at the moment. Uh, Personally, I don't. I tend to get along well with men, and I'm not really threatened by them, but it would be nice to have quite a few more women out there doing more atheism-y things, and I suppose that's what I'm doing. If not for just a hobby, just for a bit of fun, doing my videos and twittering and podcasting and stuff like that. So, but it was great to see that PZ really noticed that and made a point of it in his speech, and encouraged the cause. I hate calling it the cause because it feels like we're a movement or something, but you know what I mean. Encouraged more women to join, and for men to make it more women friendly, which I don't know what that means, but apparently they can do that. So the day was coming to an end, and I knew up next was going to be the Christopher Hitchens video tribute. Now, I'd packed a few tissues preemptively, but I was not aware of how many I would actually need. It started and the sad music started, and I kept saying to myself, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And the tears just started flowing, which is strange to my logical black and white brain because I had never met the man nor even seen him in real life. However, he made such a massive impact on me while he was still alive. It felt like I knew him and he was a crazy uncle or something like that. So I was very, very upset during the video compilation, which you can find on YouTube, I think, here, of all his kind of snippets of arguments and quotes and talking about death and stuff like that. And I was a mess. Like, it was pitch black, so they showed the movie. And then when the lights came up, I was kind of looking around, seeing if anyone could see just the tears streaming down my face. But then I composed myself, and afterwards there was the final presentation of the entire convention, which was the remaining three horsemen, Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins and Daniel Dennett, and the honorary fourth horsewoman, Ayaan Hirsi Ali. And they had all the stage set up nicely with fancy bookcases and probably smelling of rich mahogany, um, and they talked about various things, like how Ayaan was evicted from her apartments because the people around her thought they were in danger of attacks because her life is continually in danger. And she talked about growing up as a woman in a Muslim country and all that kind of stuff, just fascinating stuff. And it was great to see them all up there together. I mean, of course, it would have been absolutely amazing if Christopher Hitchens was up there as well, but I think Ayaan did a beautiful job of filling in for him and being the new honorary fourth horsewoman. So after the panel, I hopped in a car and flew back home here to Queensland. I was very tired. Our plane got delayed 3 hours. And then when we got on the plane, we were just about to leave off the runway, and a guy demanded that we stop the plane and turn around because he thought there was a suspicious package on board. So then he got off, and we had to wait for another hour while they found his bags from under the plane. So yeah, I was not happy, but got home, had a sleep, and then yeah, it was all over. But I have to say, one of the most amazing experiences of my short life so far. I had usually in large crowds, I feel very uncomfortable and anxious. I've got anxiety problems, but I had never felt more comfortable in a large crowd of people. There were so many different types of people there, of all ages, sizes, sexes, abilities, ethnicity, just everything you could poke a stick at and it would be there. I felt really inclusive and included, and when I'm in my chair, I usually feel like people look at me and pity me, or if they are especially religious, feel sorry for me, and some of them come up to me and say, "Can I pray for you?" which I've already discussed in previous videos, but I never felt that while I was with that 4,000 plus group of people. I never had one look of pity my way or, "Oh, poor thing, bless her heart." It was always just a bright smile or a wave or really, really friendly, and I've never ever been in a situation like that before, so that was brilliant. Once again, I'd love to thank the Australian Atheist Foundation for looking after me, especially Lee Holmes. She did an amazing job organising my tickets for me, making sure everything was okay, and she's probably one of the best huggers out there. So people, if you ever meet Lee, just give her a big hug, and she's great. So yeah, it was amazing. I've really enjoyed making these videos recounting it, and I just wrote an article for the Australian Atheist Foundation magazine, so those of you who are a member, you will be finding that in a couple of weeks when the big convention issue is released. And if you're not a member, become one so you can read my article, yay! And get awesome magazines and feel part of an amazing community. I'll put the link down in the description box and make sure you join. It's very cheap, and you get really great magazines. So yeah, that's it. It's all over. Hopefully they will hold another one. If so, I will be the first in line to buy tickets, and it'd be great to catch up with everyone again. Once again, if I met you and talked to you, I'm very sorry, but I've forgotten mostly all your names because I'm terrible with names and faces. So shoot me a message, Twitter, comments, anything, saying, "Look, I was this person and we talked about that," and I'll go, "Oh yeah, I remember you now," and then we can stay friends and become BFFs and then hang out and have picnics and stuff like that. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed living this vicariously through me, or if you were there, being reminded of how awesome it really was. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching, and thanks again to the Australian Atheist Foundation for organising this wonderful convention. Thanks guys.